Recording has begun. Feel free to start your show whenever you want.
Okay, here is Shareout. And our understanding of the challenge. To create educational material that can be taken home by patients and is understandable on a simplified level to help Jake and Mitchie teach sarcoma patients about survival statistics, because current informational pamphlets they have don't include survival statistics, which tell patients whether they will live or die.
Our takeaways. Mr. DeSantis said that being careful with what we research and age history plays a huge role in cancer development. From Campbell, trust your doctors and their treatment plans, and that everyone has different preferences. Campbell liked the bluntness, and whereas someone else may have preferred a less jarring experience.
Okay, so solution hypothesis is creating an interactive website using a web builder that helps teach patients how to read graphs and condense research material will help diagnose cancer patients and memorize information much easier.
And what will be different? The final website will include different learning avenues such as educational videos, communication with professionals, graphs, and more to accommodate a variety of learning preferences. We will include tabs that people can click on and interact with, which will include things such as graphs and ways to better understand them. In order to pursue this idea, we need to discover the ways that are best to teach all while keeping the user engaged.
Okay, so how will we start? So first we decide whether to focus on just sarcoma or branch out into multiple types, as this can be beneficial to us and others. We can look at other cancer websites for inspiration, brainstorm a format for the website, find the graph needed to explain, and graph design user design where and how people work inside the sites.
Okay, so this is the visual that I came up with. Like initially when I was thinking of what would be in the website, I was thinking of, like Elizabeth said, videos, pictures, either lectures, talking to like specialists would probably like look something like a helpline or like number you could call type of thing. But this is kind of like the first sketch of the different avenues that would be able to kind of be explored. And then we got this inspiration from cancer.net. It has blogs dedicated to cancer survivors and patients. It contains information like the if, ands, and buts when it comes to like being diagnosed with cancer. Like what have you done? What do you want to be implemented in further kind of like conversations when it comes to cancer and kind of diagnosing people. And that looks different, like we said before, in different age groups. Like Campbell he had a medical background. Like his family was very fluent in medicine and knowing what things look like, kind of like being able to semi-diagnose what something was or the possibilities of it. On the other hand, Mr. DeSantis didn't really know too much, but they both had families that were willing to learn and kind of get involved with their process. So when it comes to things like this, it's very important to know the personal lives and experiences of cancer patients. So for this is like some of the basic information we want to include in our website. There'll be much more, but like at the very least, we want to include the breakdown of what a graph is and getting them to understand what it shows. Like you can look at this graph right here and not know anything about it. But like when it comes to like processing this information, at the very least telling them like the y-axis is on so-and-so side and this describes so-and-so. The x-axis is this, it is time span, whatever it may show, and things like that.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, interesting. All right. Go to the next steps. I think it was the one that, yeah, how we start. So, decide whether to focus on just sarcoma or branch out into multiple types. What are you guys thinking about that right now?
Right now, I think for me personally, I think that honestly, I think we should keep a focus on like any type of sarcoma because that's what our challengers are in the field of, and not just any type of cancer. So we want to keep it more specific so it can be easier for us to manage. And I found there's 19 types of sarcoma, which is more than enough for us to look at. So there's that.
Yeah.
I agree. I also think when it comes to like thinking about what we want to have for them, like we were talking about when we first started the challenge, thinking about what we want to have for these specific people in their in our challenge partners, knowing that their league of focus is sarcomas, knowing that like in them asking us to create something that will benefit them is definitely doing work and research on sarcomas and creating something that will help their cancer patients that are working or being diagnosed with different types of sarcomas is like important for us to keep in mind.
Oh yeah, and this is our rough draft of, you know, it's
Oh, wow.
it's like our, how to know. It's like, before we move into a bigger, before we move to a more advanced web.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So, I love that you guys already have started to create, and this is like, I'm not gonna like pick anything apart because I know you guys are just starting to get into the actual structure. I love the kind of idea you're thinking about here. I would really think about what is the structure that you're gonna do that's different. What I'm hearing that's really different, go to the slide of the graphs, is this approach of like, this is a graph. What are you envisioning? Are you envisioning this is a website that just has information? Does it have education? Does it have both? What are you guys kind of looking at? What do you want a patient to come away from when they've gotten this website? What do you want them to have?
I think that we would want them to like after looking at the website, I want them like to say like, oh, I learned how to do this today. I learned how to learn how to read the graphs that is specific to my type of cancer.
Stats in general, like,
yeah.
so like when you have cancer, like they were saying that when you look on Google, you're gonna see statistics. You see the statistics, you look at these graphs and you're like, oh, well, what does this mean? And I think what we want our website to have in it is to be able for them to understand and come out of it knowing how to break down a graph and understand what they're seeing. So definitely the education part of it, like whether I don't even care if it's taking them back into their AP math class and they're saying, oh, I learned this on this website. But like being able to understand what you're looking at and break down that information, and while also like simultaneously learning what you're looking at when it comes to cancer and the cancer statistics.
So I love that. I'm curious what medium on your website, like when someone is looking through your website and they need to learn how to like read a graph, what's that gonna look like?
I want to interview Dr. Hero.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, to see how he teaches. Like he's taught all different types of math class. So I want to interview him and see how he teaches people of different grade levels to understand graphs. Like it's not easy for everyone doesn't learn the same. But I think he's taught people in a lot of different ways.
Yes, he absolutely has. I think it's a great idea.
I was thinking like one way we could teach him is maybe like do make a video, make a like interactive type of video type thing where we're like showing them like we like have visuals, things all like that. This is so like we can like use metaphors to represent the graphs. Like this x-axis represents this, the y-axis represents this. Put this together and we compare the two, blah blah blah. We can do stuff like that as well.
Do you guys want to make a video and have that done and ready for your challenge partner?
It's a possibility.
Because what I'm hearing is you want them to be able to, through your website, you want them to access information about sarcoma.
Mm-hmm.
But before they get to that, you want to have a way for them to know how to navigate it first.
Yeah.
It's all kind of contained all together,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which I think is cool. You're trying to hit both. You're saying, okay, we're going to get people who are going to do Google, but we want them to be able to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to have a video to show Jake and Mitchie when they come in 8 days?
Honestly, I would do it.
This is in everyone. E squared. What do you guys think about the video? You're into it? Making a video? What kind of video for all you guys would you guys want to make?
We don't want to do like boring and stuff. We don't want to just sit there and stand there like explain the graph. We want to have like.
Right.
I think you can use humor to make anything interesting.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of different, like you probably don't think about it when you're learning about it, but like a lot of different ways that in middle school you learn to break down graphs with those fun little videos and have people with the funny looking glasses and stuff like that to make it a little more amusing, but also because cancer is not a light subject, so the more we can do to lighten the load, like
The
the
better.
best. Yeah.
And also know that Jacob and she liked using like analogies.
Yes, so we use those in our video as well.
So it sounds like you guys need to do research not just on other websites, but you have to figure out what is a good format for an educational video, right? You guys ever watch Khan Academy videos?
Yeah.
That's literally just him with a microphone and a
He's
little
writing,
stylus,
yeah.
and he's just writing, right? Like, there's also, and we've watched crash course videos, which are like animated by a whole team of people around like a single person. That's, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I have the glasses, who talks, and there's all the things that pop up. There's a wide variety of ways you could do this that have a wide variety of levels of complexity. Royal, you made a pretty intense animation in your last group that took a lot of time. And
We don't even have to do animation. We can do more of like we can use like random like stock images to represent things. We don't even have to use like anything to explain what those images
Yeah.
as well.
And you can think about this video as a prototype too,
Mhm.
if you want. But you should do some research to find out what kind of videos out there, like what kind of, like what is the kind of format that you think would work well. I love interviewing Dr. Shareout because then you can find out, and I would, if you can like record that in some way, because he'll probably give you a lot of great details about what you could do, like what are some tricks and tips that he has. Make sure you bring some graphs with you that are like the survival graphs. So you can kind of say, oh, these are the kind you're doing great. Well, so what you're gonna wanna do is this. I think it would be really nice if you guys had a video you could share, but I would also think about like, pull up the actual website. Where is it?
Right
Over here, yeah. So think about your interface and how your interface guides your user in the way that you want. Because what it sounds like is you really want them to the like two things. So where you want like, think about when you get to this webpage, like where it's going to guide you. And obviously, again, I don't expect this to be polished because you're just starting to put this together. But like, think about like, right, you've already started to do it where you sort of have this like educational avenues. Do you have a way where you want to kind of force them through some sort of like graph education before they can get to the actual graphs, right? Are you gonna have, so right, we have like the graphs up here. Yeah, this is a placeholder, but like if I come here and I'm just like, cool, I wanna see all the graphs about mortality, I just go right there. Is there a way that you want them as the user to sort of engage with the education first, and how are you gonna make that intentional so it like pulls someone in?
Yeah, I think when trying to get someone to understand graphs, I think in my experience, I've seen a graph and then looked for how to understand it. So like maybe just putting a picture of a graph, and when you're clicking on that graph, showing this is how you understand this graph, and that's when we can play the video. But also like the different kinds of graphs, like graph bar graphs, all types of different types of graphs.
So we start from the graph and just work our way down and we understand from there.
Exactly. And even like if you have a big picture and you have like a link and like a little video icon like showing how you understand, like a lot of educational websites will show you, or even like something like iExcel, like you have the problem and then you have a little small video icon where you can press that to understand it further. But yeah.
So you're imagining like, and I'm hearing this idea that you're not separating them.
Right.
That there's some way in which you present them the graphs, and then you have side by side, maybe it's a thing that you've created around a graph that's nudging them in a direction. Maybe it's the like embedded video, click here to read how to read a graph. So I would really run with this as the idea is not just, can we make a video, can we catalog some graphs, but how do we make, and even if all you have is this one page where you put together graphs with like some kind of interactive or embedded video and you can click on the video, if that's it,
So like a preview page basically.
right, yes, exactly. You just have like a preview page, like a little prototype preview page. That to me is what I'm hearing that you guys are identifying is like, we want to get this together in one. Because I mean, other people talked about websites, which is like fine, but what I'm hearing from you is it's not just, you're not just thinking about a website, you're thinking about like, how do we both provide the information we know they're gonna look for and empower them to be able to understand it. So I would personally focus on getting that done. So if you can just show a page where here's a survival graph with the embedded video and with whatever kind of stuff around it you identify. So even if you just choose one graph where you're doing that, I think that would be great. If you could have it set up for multiple, that would be fantastic. And thinking about different types of graphs and the different ways you would show or teach people how to read them. And this would be great again to talk to Dr. Harrow and get some ideas for.
And then I can say like even in like if we do that, if we do multiple graphs, we can each take one graph and we each make a video about that graph and how to understand that graph, and then we can all compile them together, and then we put them in the layout, and then we have like what 4 graphs to look to for like 4 graphs on the page of the website that we have to.
I will say 4 videos is gonna be potentially a lot.
Oh, we don't have to show it. We could show one video.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we could do a video, like you were saying, like an anime, like little like arrows pointing at certain things. Some people like to read rather than listen. So like incorporating those different learning types. Like I could have a graph in its original form, and then arrows pointing at this is what this shows, and like nice little icons. But
Or different
like
ways to
that.
explain the same graph.
Exactly. Doing that, like taking those different avenues, even if we are doing like this is a bar graph, this is a line graph, this is how you navigate this, is how you navigate that. As long as they have a blueprint, you don't have to make the whole entire thing.
Yes, so I definitely we have a week, and I want you guys to have enough that you can get like a really unique thing out there to them. And I feel like this, like the page preview, like you're talking about, that's what you guys have, that's where you can show off what you're thinking about and all the different ideas you guys have. I think that'd be a really great direction to go, and you guys should probably email Dr. Harrow also and just be like, because he should be theoretically around during macro time. So scheduling a time with him, I mean, tomorrow he'll have, most of the, I don't think he's doing a push-in or anything, so he'll have most of the day free. So if you can get a time scheduled with him as soon as possible, or find out when he's available, and I'll talk to you about when we can have team time over the next couple of days. I think that would be really great. And yeah, figure out what are the different types of graphs they need to understand. And then the other question I have for you guys is, do you want how general do you want to be with this video? Do you want it to be an introduction to reading graphs, or do you want it to be focused on reading this graph in particular?
For the purpose of like, we want to show like as specific as we can get, so probably just like the actual graph, like what does this graph mean? And like maybe we make like a loose like 1-minute video of general, but other than that, we want to be really specific with this.
Okay, cool. It sounds like you guys got a lot of really cool stuff going. Do you have any last questions for me? Any last thoughts?
That's pretty much it.
I'm very excited to see where this goes. It's gonna take a pretty good amount of work, but this feels realistic and possible if you guys can plan out and use this time really effectively. Do you feel like you got next steps, direction to go in?
Yeah, definitely.
That was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, good. That's what I want to make sure. All right, awesome guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good share outs. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Emma, hopefully you wake up by the end of the day, we'll figure it out.